some of the veterans making some nice plays on sitting on balls and having a chance to make plays on the ball, which you'd love to see those guys have ball skills, not just bat it down, but get the ball back for the offense. So that was awesome to see. We get to be in full pads tomorrow, which is exciting. We'll work heavy run game in most of the practice, and then put the ball down at the end of that practice and just play. Get everybody on the sideline, let the two coordinators call it, and have just a little mini scrimmage, not an all-out scrimmage, but be able to play a little bit of football. So I'm excited about that. Guys that got pulled today, Chuma got pulled early in the practice, just has had some hip soreness, so we pulled him. Jakari also had some hip soreness, and Porter went down with a leg injury that we'll look at tonight and get MRI and figure out what it is. From a personnel standpoint, we've had the opportunity to gain an offensive lineman for our active roster this year. Bernard Shermer is a young man from Mount Sac that we learned about in spring recruiting. We knew his history with an in-game incident that he had to pay penance for. We vetted for 3 months this individual, talking to administrators at Mount Sac, as coaches, as counselors, and also had a chance to sit down with his family over the summer. What we learned from the administrators, counselors, and coaches, well, we were dealing with a tremendous young man, a man that is a great student and a great person, and a guy that we had no question would be a great member of our Trojan family. Having a chance to sit down with his family, one sister being here playing volleyball, we listed the expectations that we expect for Bernard, and we understand that he knows those expectations and will do a great job here as a Trojan. We're very excited. He'll be a 3-for-3 redshirt sophomore coming in, and he has signed a financial aid agreement, so he will be out of practice shortly, and I'll answer more questions at that time once he gets out of practice about him. With that, I'll answer any other questions you got about today's practice.
Coach, with Porter, yeah, is there a feeling at least if it's serious or not?
We're going to have to see the MRI. The knee seems stable. From what the doctors and Russ Romano said, but let me wait to get the MRI before I start guessing on what it is, but they did feel like it was stable.
How tough is it to see it, to even think about something that might go wrong with him?
Very tough. You're talking about one of the leaders of your football team and a great player. And you catch your breath, you say a prayer for him and quick health and it not being too serious. I don't know if there's anybody that's worked harder to be ready for this season on our football team. And I'm hoping God hears those prayers, and he's ready to go when he's back 100%.
Was he in a lot of pain over there?
No, he was not in a lot of pain. Not at all. It did not feel. It felt funny to him, which if anything's off with Porter, it's anytime you have that fine an athlete and something feels a little funny. Obviously you want to know what it is. So we're taking every precaution to see what it's going to be.
So as a coach today, the two guys you took to Pac-12 Media Day, Cam is also not out there. I mean, do you have to get yourself kind of, get upbeat about getting yourself, getting through practice where those two guys aren't there?
Yeah, no question. You have to alter some things sometimes. We've lost a couple tight ends for a little bit with Eric being down and Daniel getting right. So, we were going to 2-spot blitz, but all of a sudden you lose a couple guys that, you don't have 2 spots. You got to go back to 1 spot, and you got to be able to manage that. But hoping and good God willing that both guys are fine, and hopefully it's a little bit of a blessing to get the next guys up and to get them reps, and hopefully get Cam and Porter back as soon as humanly possible.
What is Dave Campo's role?
Dave right now is an analyst for us. Obviously, he's a guy that has been Clancy's mentor, and a guy that can be able to look at film, not give any basically game plan options, but be able to tell Clancy what he sees. What he sees. You can't do it to the players, but we've had a lot of consultants and analysts in here, and that have helped our coaches. Just as an extra set of eyes, and to have Dave here, who's not only one of the great coaches in our profession, but one of the better DB coaches in our profession in the history of the game. So gives us the opportunity to garner a guy that Clancy trusts, and be able to watch tape and provide opinion to Clancy.
You mentioned his quarter's leg, or was it his knee?
Yeah, it felt like his knee to him, and just everything was stable, but just didn't feel right, and we were just being extremely precautionary. Just wanted to make sure everything was right.
Another linebacker, Levi Jones.
Levi's got a little bit of a chest issue, a little bit of swelling in the chest, and until that dies down a little bit, we're just being precautionary until he feels right. He's doctors, there's nothing coronary, but he's got some swelling in the chest area near where the heart's at.
So internal?
Yeah, so we want to be able to dial that down, and as soon as he feels better, then we'll get everything, get him back out here.
You had a chance to look at the new special teams one for the kickoff returns, how that might have an effect this year? The new kickoff return rules?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You had a chance to...
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of game planning with it, a lot of situational mastery with it, to be honest with you. I think that, some things that are going to come up is if you've got a field return called and they pin you deep in the corner with the kick, that placement of the kick, making that decision to possibly fair catch that ball. Being up by 11, you have your hands team on the field with 4 minutes to go. You don't know if they're onside kicking or kicking it deep, and they happen to kick it deep. Well, obviously you don't have your full amount of protection there, or being able to block everybody. A fair catch may be in order. The one thing that does come into play with it is the ability that if you do muff that fair catch, what it means to you also. That's spotted right there. So you have to be very clean in catching the ball. But I think there's going to be some decision making, some situational mastery that's going to come into play with it. And obviously it'll take a number of hits away from the game too. I got a feeling some people are going to use it, definitely.
What did you think of the rule in general?
Obviously anything that's trying to help the game safety-wise. I think that in my 24 years, I think the most progressive issues that have come out have helped the game. We look at head injuries and we look at concussions, and I credit NCAA for looking at it, the research that's been done behind it, and to make rules better. Targeting rule has come into play. Now we do baseline testing right when kids get in. We have concussion protocols. There's science. We use science. Sports science to be able to see where they're at, and these rules help the game. They're trying to take the hits away from the players, and anything that's better safety for our game, I'm all for it.
How hard is it to get kind of some offensive flow going with the alternating the three quarterbacks?
We're trying to give them 4, 5, 6 reps in a row, Dan, just to be able so they can get in flow. If it was one rep after the other, that's hard on a quarterback, but we're trying to give them almost like series, like mini series. We're not to the point yet where we're ready for 10, 12, 14 play drives. We'll be there soon, but I'm hoping to be able to put the ball down a little bit tomorrow and play and let it flow. We got a scrimmage Saturday to let it flow, but I'm trying to acquire as much evenly reps to be able to make a correct judgment at the end of camp.
Over this 25 that you have to work with, do you have to kind of cut from 3 to 2 at some point?
Not right now. Not right now. If I think there's a major difference, I would, but right now there isn't.
Yeah.
Adam, if it got to that point, I would consider it. But right now, they're all about even. They're just learning and making mistakes, and hopefully learning from those mistakes, and hopefully getting better each and every day. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm looking forward to Saturday. Those will be 2 big days for those kids. We've got basically the majority of our install in. Now it's going to see who can take that install and perform.
One more.
Daniel and Metro Baby struggled obviously last year physically. Just glance at some photos from the second practice, and it's just like he was making some movements that it looks like is he 100% back? Because he looks terrific.
He's not 100% right now, but he's feeling better and he's getting closer. You know, I've always gone into every situation with an injury that two things got to happen. One, there's got to be medical clearance by people that are a lot smarter than me, and that's our doctors. And then two, the players got to feel comfortable to be out there and to be confident. You know, both things have to happen. And, you know, he's been medically cleared to practice. And as he feels comfortable and feels strong and feels where he can be 100%, that's when he'll come back. The good news is he's doing a lot more than he's done. And we invested a lot in shutting him down for 7 months and allowing it to end. To basically not do anything in spring, allow everything to heal up, and now he's in a situation where he's starting to feel good, and he's getting 9 periods a day, and hopefully soon, you know, as we get closer to the end, the back half of camp, can start some contact, and we'll see where things are come game one.
Okay.
Alrighty.